Hi guys, welcome back to another video in this series that I've created for you. I actually added this quite last minute because I realised that it's something I probably should cover. You can see that I've actually made a couple alterations. If you see here, this is where we've got our sort of Voldemort nose coming in, and here we've got two colour corrections going on. Okay, so we've got left cheek colour correction and right cheek colour correction. So if I disable left cheek color correction, let's just see what happens in our image up here. So I'll just click to disable, and you can see when I disable it, we've actually got quite a light line, because where we took our texture, it was from the left cheek, and that was more brighter. That was a lot more brighter when we took that screenshot of the projection. So what I've done is I've applied a roto paint to follow. I've applied it to the actual mesh to follow the mesh throughout, and then I've plugged that in as just an alpha channel so we can grade across time. And I've also done the same with this cheek over here as well. It was a little too dark and you could see that join line, and so I've just done a little bit of a grade. Okay, so let's have a quick look in and see what's going on, because I've got an extra scene node, an extra scanline render for each one, just to generate a mask. Now there probably is an easier version to do this, but this is the kind of sort of quick way I found to do it. So if we look at this scene node by here, what we should be able to see is, let's just make sure line up. Right, so double click this scene. What we should be able to see is we've got a roto paint. Let's start with the roto paint. A roto paint left cheek. Now we can't, if we double click, you'll see the output is left cheek. I've actually created a channel set, so you'd have to view our channel set for left cheek to see that. And let's come back into the 3D view now. You can actually see that that is on the mesh. Okay, so I've used an apply material node and I've actually projected that on. So when we view through the camera, the scanline renderer, what should happen is this will be moving on that mesh throughout the scene. Okay, and then that's still in left cheek. Then I've just add a blurred node and change the channels to left cheek because I've created new channels, and I will show you how to do all this. And then I've just created a grade node. And let's view our RGBA now. Okay, so a grade node and the RGBA, this is coming in from there. I've gone into my grade node and I said I want to grade the RGB channels, which are coming in from our Voldemort nose by here, but I want to use a mask. So my mask input is connected up to this scanline renderer, or this blur, and I said I want to mask with the left cheek alpha, which I've generated up here. Okay, so if you don't understand that, don't worry too much. I'm going to very quickly show you how I did this. Okay, so let's just break these off to the side, and let's get rid of this and rid of this mask. So basically what I did is I took the scanline renderer. Actually, I can just do that again. So I'm going to copy scanline renderer, camera and scene node, and I'm going to copy them to here, so we've got the same settings in there. What you then want to do is you then want to make an apply material node. So apply material, and I'm just going to hook that into the scene. You then want to copy your read geo, your Voldemort mesh face node, and over here. So what we want to do is on our apply material, we've got a material which will create a material, which will be that roto, and you want to plug the other handle into your read geo. Okay, so it knows it's applying a material to this read geo, and then that gets plugged all into the scene. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is get this little UV grid, and you can just go onto Google and find loads of UV grids, so we can actually just see for now what's going on. So let's view the scanline renderer, and you can see that's what's going on. Okay, now this UV grid is actually it becomes really important. So what would happen now? Let's move all this to the side. Don't worry about that. Let's go and actually set this up in our setup over here, because it's a little bit easier if we set it up over here, and you'll see why now. If we apply material into there, let's view our scanline renderer. Okay, right. The reason we're using this little grid is because if we would just create a roto node and start drawing, we don't know. So let's just get our roto paint node. If we were to just view this roto paint node, well, and start drawing, well, we don't really know where to draw. We know the cheek was about there, so if we just draw there and we try and apply that, it's not going to work, okay? What we need to do is we need to use this UV as a guideline. So view down here, let's get my viewer across. We know that if we want to just draw a roto just around this edge, we can use these coloured numbers as a guideline, okay? So watch this neat little setup now. I'm going to get a dissolve node. So dissolve, and I'm going to slide it in here, and I'm going to hook number 1 up to this roto paint. Okay. What I'm also going to do is the format of this read node by here is 1K, square 1K. It's 1024 by 1024. So I'm going to make a quick reformat node and make sure that my roto paint is the same. So hook the BG of my roto paint up to reformat and come down to the output format, and I'm going to just click square 1K. So now this grid and this roto will be the same. Okay. So we've got that set up. What we can now do is view our scanline renderer. If we take our dissolve, we can start dissolving this off, okay? It basically starts hiding that. And the reason that's good is now with our roto paint all set up, we can come into our roto paint and let's go viewer, new comp viewer. So we've got viewer 2, and I'm going to pull this to the side. Okay, this will all make sense. Viewer 2, I've got set up to that roto paint. Okay, actually let's set it up to the dissolve because we've got the roto paint and the grid coming in. So I know that I need to draw it around here. So starting off at 5, which is pink 5, and coming down to sort of magenta 5. Okay, so I'm going to get my roto paint node, and I'm just going to draw in my 2D view, because you can't draw in a 3D view. Draw my 2D view using these numbers as a guide. I know I can come down to this number by here. Okay, just go around like that, and it doesn't matter how wide I go. But now if I do that, I can now see that this white little blob which I've drawn is now behind. It's okay, it's behind the nose, so we know if we were to swap these inputs, we could actually put, there we go, this, one sec, this on top. So we've got 2 and 3. So if we change our dissolve and pull this up, there you go, it dissolves between the two. So we're just using this number as a little grid. So like I said, if we just swap these round, so make this number 2 and this number 3, you can see that this is actually now, because of the numbering of these, this is actually now on top. So what we've done is we've generated a little alpha channel, and we now know, and we can pull it round if not, but we now know that this is in the correct place. And if not, you can just kind of pull round as you need to. Okay, I'm happy that that's in the right place because it's just overlapping. So let's just check, pull it away. Yes, just overlapping that bit, so I can color correct that little area. Great. So now we've got this roto paint. I'm going to undo, like disconnect this apply material because we don't need it over here. I'm going to take my roto paint and reformat over here. And which one was I redoing? Right cheek, obviously it was this. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm now going to, there it is, left cheek. Even though I actually drew on the right, oh well, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do now is, we've got the camera, the scene, and the scanline renderer node. Like I said, we want to use the apply material node. This is our material which we've just drawn, and the Voldemort geo, this is the geometry. And now if we plug that in to our scene, what we should have, so apply material, this is our geometry. I can actually delete that one, bit of a mess here. But if we view our scene, what we should have is now that roto is going to be on, it's going to be on the correct area, okay? And what we can now do is we want to copy this in as a mask. But what I also did, just to keep things clean, is in the roto paint node, I've got it all set up now. I'm going to go to output, and I'm going to click new. I'm going to make a new channel with what I've just drawn. So if I call it man cheek, and that's right. I've already got a right cheek set up, it doesn't matter. I'm now going to click RGBA by here. I've created a new channel set like RGBA. If you're confused by that, I've got a whole tutorial that goes through channels and channel sets, so check that out. So click RGBA and click OK, and you'll now realize, well, that's all very well and good. I shouldn't have done right cheek because label left cheek, but doesn't matter. You may say that's all very well and good, but I can't see them. The reason being is, let's in viewer 2, yeah. Let's just close out of our viewers because we don't actually need 2 viewers. So close pane, and let's just click right. You may say, yeah, that's all very well, but I'm viewing the apply material node and I can't actually see it. I'm viewing this, I can't see it. That's because we've copied all this information into a new channel set, and we're currently viewing the RGBA channel set. So if you come down, other layers, man cheek right, that's what we just created. There is your little blob, okay? So I'm going to come back into RGBA. I'm now going to come down here, create a new grade node, okay? Now when we view this grade node, we're actually viewing this little Voldemort nose, okay? And it's in the grade node, it says which channels do you want to alter, or which, it says here the effect is applied to these channels, RGBA. Yes, we want to alter the RGBA coming in from the Voldemort nose by here, but we want to mask it. If we start moving these about, it does it to the whole thing. What we want to do is use this mask input, connect it to our scanline renderer up here, come down to our mask input and say, right, man cheek right alpha. So the alpha channel we've created up here. So now you'll see it's only doing that part, and the reason being is if we come up here, what it's doing is, let's come down, man cheek right, it's using, what's going on? Yeah, it's using this as a mask, okay? So it's quite complicated, but that's the kind of setup that I've been working with, okay? So then you can come through and you can keyframe and basically alter that side, and I've done the same again. I actually did left cheek here, but I've got 2 right cheeks now. So I did one for the left cheek and one setup for the right cheek, and then if I'd need to undo everything now. Then what I had is I had 2 areas that were color corrected, and as he moved left to right, I just keyframed so you can see that. If I just get rid of that, if I just disable that one, you can see this one by here is all these keyframes. So keyframe there, and I've keyframed the gain and the gamma, and you can see as I move throughout, the numbers alter, and I'm basically matching the light in, okay? So that was just a little extra bit that I wanted to chuck in there for you guys. I really hope it helped. Thank you for tuning into this series. Been a pleasure to make. I hope it helped you. Check out some of our other tutorials, and I will hopefully see you guys again soon.